mentors and role models, because good mentors, good role models can foster resilience in you. How is that? Because they inspire you, they motivate you, and they provide support for you, and they foster self-esteem. So it is so important to, in an effort to enhance your own resilience, is to find good mentors and good role models, because they foster resilience in others. And again, I think it's important to find a mentor in every aspect of your life, in your personal life and in your professional life. So not just a mentor in your work life and in your professional life, but find mentors in your personal life as well, because they can really foster resilience in all aspects of your life then. So that is so important. There's a nice quote that the key to being a good mentor is to help people become more of who they already are, and not to make them more like you. Right. So you know you found a good mentor when they are not trying to make you like them, right? But they recognize who you are and the strengths that you have, and they are making you a better version of yourself, right? Because they are taking who you already are and improving on that, and making you a better version of who you already are, right? So they know your strengths and they know your weaknesses, and they're helping you become better in all those ways. They're not looking to make you into little mini me's and then turn you into another version of them, but they're looking to turn you into the best version of you. That is a good mentor. That is a good role model. So I think it's important to find that then, again, in your personal life and in your professional life. So observational learning is learning that takes place not because someone is directly teaching us, right? But it's simply because you are watching someone else doing something, right? That's such an important part of medicine. There's so much observation that our learners are doing, right? But when you're a senior resident, or when you're an attending and a practicing physician, your students and your residents are watching you, and they're learning just by watching you, just by being around you, how you interact with patients, how you deal with difficult situations, how you break bad news to families, right? How you respond to an upset patient, or a frustrated patient, or angry patient, or a difficult situation on your team, right? They're watching all that, and they're learning from all that. And so much of what we do as medical educators is actually through this observational learning. So we have to keep that in mind. So much of medicine is related to that. And also, we talk about the hidden curriculum. There's so much that is being taught, the hidden curriculum that students and residents are learning as they, again, watch their seniors, and watch their senior residents and their senior faculty, and just observe how they do things. So that is important aspect of being a role model mentor that we have to keep in mind. So these learners, our students and our learners, they're learning from us, and we're modeling how to be resilient. So we have to show how to be resilient, because they are observing us respond to different stressors, and how we handle those stressors in a resilient way, because that's enhancing their resilience. When they are observing their mentors, their role models going through stressful situations, they're learning how to be resilient themselves by watching that. So I think that's so important to keep in mind when we are senior residents and we are faculty and we are supervising physicians, that our learners are watching us and observing us and learning how to be resilient in that observation. So we have to keep that in mind in our role as a mentor, and a role model of how we're doing that. I think it's so important to make sure that you search for resilient role models, and you imitate their best qualities, and then play to your best self, right? So what does that mean? That means that you look and you find multiple different role models, right? Not just one role model and one mentor. You find two or three different role models, two or three different mentors, right? And you see their strengths and their weaknesses, and you take a little bit from each one of them, right? And you imitate their best qualities, and then you become who you're going to be, based on, you take a little bit from this role model and mentor, you take a little bit from this role model and this mentor, and then you put it all together and you become who you are going to be, right? So it's important to find a few different role models or mentors, and take a little bit from each one to become your best self. So I think that's very important, and make sure that those role models are helping you become resilient, because they are strong role models that can enhance your resilience, because they are helping you learn how to deal with stress, how to recover from a difficult situation, how to learn from that situation, and how to move on from and grow from difficult situations. So to find those type of resilient role models to help you then. And this is what I advise my own students and my own residents and my own learners: is take a couple of role models, find a couple of different mentors and role models, and take the best qualities of each one of those to become your best self. I think that's very important then. This quote reminds us that a mentor empowers a person to see a possible future and believe that it can be obtained, right? So mentors really believe in you and they empower you and they motivate you and they encourage you. So that's the role of a mentor. So find a mentor that does that for you. So again, resilient individuals have role models whose beliefs and attitudes and behaviors inspire them, right? And role models can come in all shapes and sizes, right? They could be your parents, they could be a relative, it could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be somebody from your church and or your religious organization, it could be a friend, it could be a peer, it could be your kids, right? So it could be so many different types of role models and mentors, and we have to be able to see that, right, and look for that. Um, and again, we know that not all role models are perfect, right? They don't need to be perfect, right? You take the best qualities of each person to become who you're going to be, right? You're never going to find that perfect role model. Everybody's going to have some weaknesses, so you overlook them and you find the positive in everyone, then, right? And role models, again, they could be people that you've never met, right? It could be somebody that you read about, right? It could be somebody that somebody in the past and then in history that you learned about or that you read about. I mean, you've never met that person, right? But that could serve that person can serve as a role model as well, then, right? So there's so many different ways that we can find role models and mentors. But it's important to find those people who are going to inspire us and motivate us and encourage us and to bring out the best in us, because those are the ones that are resilient role models, and we are going to help enhance our resilience as well, then. So not only is it important to look for role models that you can emulate, but it's also important for each of us to serve as a role model, because that can enhance our resilience by serving as a role model for others, by serving as a mentor for others. That can enhance our own resilience. So serving as a role model can really provide meaning to your own self, and that can enhance your resilience. And when you serve as a role model, you inspire others, right? And you mentor others, and you develop others, and you grow others, and you encourage others, and you motivate others, and you guide others, and you advise others. So you're doing all these things that can really enhance your resilience, because it can really provide meaning. So not only is it important to find good role models that can enhance your resilience, but to serve as a role model to others and to serve as a mentor to others can enhance your resilience as well, then. And as physicians, we serve in that role whether we realize it or not, right? When you are a resident, you are serving as a role model and a mentor for your medical student. When you are a senior resident, you are serving as a role model and mentor for your junior residents. When you are a faculty member, you are serving as a role model and mentor to all your students and your residents and your learners, right? So we serve in this role, whether we realize it or not. We have to recognize it, and that can enhance our resilience because it can add to our own meaning. This is a nice quote. I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I didn't give up, right? This is who we should be as role models and mentors, right? We should inspire people and encourage them to not give up and to keep working hard and to motivate them, right? And then they look back and they recognize that it is because of you that I didn't give up, and that I moved on and I was successful then, right? So again, serving as a mentor can really enhance your own resilience. So let's say, for example, you volunteer for a mentoring program, right? There's many types of mentoring programs that are available in the community, in school organizations and wherever, right? So let's say you decide to volunteer as a mentoring program, that can really enhance your resilience. Why? Because you are serving as a role model and a mentor, and when you do that, you are helping someone else build skills. You are helping them grow. You are helping them develop. You are encouraging them, right? You are serving as a teacher and helping them learn new skills. You are embracing optimism because you're believing in your mentee and you're encouraging them and you're nurturing them and you're supporting them, right? You're practicing altruism by serving in that mentoring program because you're giving your time and your talent and your skills. So you're being generous with that. So you're being altruistic. You're giving and receiving social support when you are helping your mentee, right? So all of these things enhance your resilience. So serving as a mentor and volunteering in a mentoring program can really enhance your resilience in all these different ways. So again, it's not just about finding mentors to enhance your resilience, but it's about serving as a mentor yourself and as a role model yourself that can really enhance your own resilience as well. I think that's so important to keep in mind and think about as well. Okay, so to kind of wrap up here, I want you to just take a moment to think about Who is your role model? Who is your mentor, right? Think about in your life up to this point in your life, wherever you are in your life, if you're a medical student right now, if you're a resident right now, if you're a practicing physician right now, wherever you are in your life, right? Think about who has been a role model to you in your personal life and your professional life. Who's been a mentor to you in your personal life or professional life, and maybe create a list, right? Maybe create a list of anyone that has taught you along the way, anyone that has helped you grow along the way, anyone that has supported you, anyone that has encouraged you, anyone that has guided you, anyone that has inspired you, anyone that has believed in you or has been there for you, right? Think about that. Maybe create that list, right, in your mind, or maybe write that out, right? You make that list. And there's so many people that have served as role models and mentors for us along the way to help us be successful and get us to the point that we are where we are in our lives at any given moment, right? And then I'll give you a little homework. Maybe you can thank that person who contributed to your success and supported you, right? That list that you made, right? Maybe send an email to that person, right? Maybe send a text to that person, write a letter to that person, call up that person, right? Somehow communicate to that person that mentored you. Somehow communicate to that person that was a role model for you, or that taught you, right? And thank them for their commitment to you, right? Thank them for what they did for you at that point in your life, and how they taught you or mentored you or encouraged you or supported you or got you through that difficult time, right? And helped you succeed, right? So make that list, right? And then maybe again try to reach out to them and communicate them and express your gratitude and appreciate them and thank them for what they have done for you to get you to into that point in your life. I think that is so that is so important to do. And I'll tell you as we get to the end here, just kind of wrap up with a little story. Last year I was walking around on at work, and somebody was kind of coming behind me, and they called out to me and said, "Hey, Dr. Shahid," and I turned around, and there was a gentleman standing there, and I didn't really recognize him, and he said, "You probably don't recognize me," and I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, I really don't recognize you," and he said, "I was your medical student about 10 years ago." I'm like, oh, okay. And he said, right now, now I'm working as a practicing emergency room physician, but I was your medical student 10 years ago. I remember you gave a lecture to the students at that time about spinal taps and CSF and how to interpret spinal fluid numbers and help you decide if a patient might have meningitis. And you gave a lecture on that. And he said, I still remember that lecture 10 years from 10 years ago. And I still use that lecture when I treat patients in the emergency room right now, because that was such a good lecture. I really remember that lecture. And he said, what, I just want to let you know, thank you for that lecture. Thank you for teaching me, because I vividly remember it and I still use it to this day. And then, he went on his way. And I just remember stopping at that moment and just thinking to myself, wow, I didn't realize that I was having such an effect on my learners, on my medical students. And to hear him just say thank you and appreciate that moment that I taught him 10 years ago, really made a huge difference in my own resilience at that point, right? It really gave me meaning at that point. It gave me great joy and satisfaction and gratification to know that I'm making a difference when I'm teaching my learners, and it's making an impact, and they're using what I'm teaching them as they are moving on in their careers, and that I had some small hand in their medical education to make them a better physician down the road. Right? That's really meaningful for me to hear that, right? So again, I want to challenge you to reach out to someone that has mentored you, someone that has taught you, and express your gratitude and appreciation for what they have done and to help you succeed. So when you do that, that will help your own resilience when you reach out to someone, because we know being appreciative of others and being thankful for others can help your own resilience. So reach out and express that gratitude towards them. That will help your own resilience. And the impact and effect it has on the recipient, right? I was a recipient at that moment with that student, that former student, and the meaning that it provides and the joy that it provides for the recipient getting that little note of gratitude is so powerful, right? And enhances that person's resilience as well, right? So reaching out to that other person and thanking them and communicating with them and just appreciating what they've done enhances your resilience, but it will also enhance that other person's resilience as well. So I want to challenge you to think about who those people are in your life, have been mentors for you, have been role models for you, and just reach out to them and appreciate them and thank them, because it's going to make a huge difference in your own resilience and in that